Hey guys, SirLaurenceNZ here and welcome to the CaptureAge Hidden Cup 2 update video. Before we get into the new features though, I'd like to say a massive thank you to T90 and Nilly for bringing this project so much attention. We're just as hyped as you are to see CaptureAge modernize spectating in Age of Empires 2 and hopefully grow the game in the process. We've been working incredibly hard with our new group members Abducted Platypus, Endbrain and bowSwung to implement so many of the essential features required for both spectating and casting. So, without further ado, here's our brand new look to casting Age of Empires 2. One of the main priorities in designing this new UI was to maximize the portion of screen being used for gameplay. For example, when spectating 1v1s, over 90% of the screen is now being used for gameplay, compared to the 75% we're used to in-game. Now, I'd like to touch on a few of the brand new features that CaptureAge offers over the original game. For starters, spectators can now zoom in and out of the map as they please, along with all sorts of additional movement options to give both casters and viewers the most comfortable and comprehensive experience to date. Next, we've added persistent technologies down to the left of the minimap as a part of our new dashboard layout. These icons show some of the most important upgrades permanently on screen so that both casters and viewers can tell at a glance which standard upgrades have been completed. Over to the right hand side of the screen, we've got unit production. These unit production queues display how many units are queued with a number and how many are currently being made, with colored bars underneath the unit production icons. In the middle of the screen, we've got the minimap surrounded by the player color of the current point of view. Down to the right of the minimap, you can see the name of the map and all the remaining natural resource counts. On the left hand side of the screen, we've got the selection panel. This portion of CaptureAge is the most heavily altered, so please bear with me while I explain it piece by piece. For starters, CaptureAge allows you to select as many units as you'd like, from as many players as you'd like. Because of this, each player is separated into its own selection window. These windows have various stats, numbers, progress bars, and unit icons that can be displayed. The unit icons specifically require some attention. You'll notice that when armies are selected, they'll be sorted into unit types. If there's too many of a unit, the icons will start to tile on top of each other and eventually display a number on the first icon stating exactly how many of that unit are present. No math required. In terms of displaying unit stats, selecting a single unit of one or more players will display the relevant stats for that army. One stat that might not be familiar to you is the object count icon. It's simply a small dot in the color of the selected army, telling you exactly how many units are selected for that player. Now onto one of my favorite changes, Fog of War. If you've ever seen this while watching streams, you're not alone. These patterns are the result of how Fog of War is handled in the original game, which then gets displayed in all sorts of wacky resolutions. CaptureAge amends this issue by simply darkening the region in the fog, much like HD currently does. CaptureAge also adds in dual Fog of War and the Unit Spy feature from User Patch. Moving on, we've got a few miscellaneous features and changes to cover before we wrap up. Technologies and buildings now display one decimal place on the respective progress bars. This feature may or may not have been implemented with one specific player in mind. Audio becomes quieter as you zoom out, unbuilt building foundations appear semi-transparent, and finally, time has been moved to the bottom right, while chat and player score remains in their standard locations. So, if you guys are excited about these changes, please make sure to leave a comment down below for the rest of the CaptureAge team. I'd also really appreciate it if you consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and following me on Twitch for anything else CaptureAge related. Make sure to check out T90's Hidden Cup 2 tournament and get hyped for CaptureAge's proper tournament debut. Until next time.